Good morning and welcome to day 38, Saturday the 2nd of May. This morning I was reading a very interesting interview with Tim DeParavicini from EAR. Tim is responsible for a lot of work in tube electronics and also in recording system electronics. So for example, the recording cutters that they use for mastering at Mobile Fidelity in Sebastopol in California, they are designed and maintained by Tim. Now, he mentions a very interesting thing in this interview. He says that if you cut vinyl properly, it will sound virtually indistinguishable from the master tape. And there is a guy, that's from a guy that has designed products for Musical Fidelity, for Luxman, and for his own EAR brand. Very knowledgeable in the sense of knowing what goes into a recording and therefore what is reasonable to expect to get out. A lot of people do not understand the full chain involved in getting things into your lounge, what I was talking about yesterday in this chain from the source to the speakers. And he says, the ultimate aim of what I'm trying to do is to preserve the sound as closely as possible all the way through. And Mobile Fidelity have got the current version of the concept at their place in California. So yes, MoFi are right up with the cutting edge in terms of recording technology, and Tim is the man that maintains their gear. Tim is also responsible for designing the MoFi phono stages, the Studio Phono and the Ultra Phono. So you get a bit of a sense of why the whole chain is important, and what I was talking about yesterday is about getting that pipeline as big as you can and not having any impediments to the signal as it flows through. And you can see that you can take that back another step further from the source, and you can go back to what was the source, the musicians, how was their setup mic'd and recorded, and then how is that transferred to the recording medium, whether it be CD, vinyl, or a file for download. So the links in the chain are exactly the same principle all the way back, and keeping it as pure as possible preserves your flow down the chain. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was something which has been bugging me for a while. I've had a few people that have been saying to me, oh, you know, I've got a power board that's got the surge protection built into it, so my gear is safe. I'm afraid to tell you that the vast majority of those power boards that have surge protection in them, and they say they come with $1 million guarantee for protecting your gear and all this sort of BS, basically they consist of a very simple component which is designed to trigger and shunt voltages to earth when they are hit by extremely high voltage, something that is so rare, it very, very rarely happens in real life. So it's like buying a ticket to the lottery, really. You know, your chances of winning are pretty darn slim. Well, your chances of getting your system struck by lightning, I've had it happen twice in my 47 years in the industry. It's pretty remote. And I can tell you, if you've got one of these little junction boxes that's got a diode inside it that's going to short out to earth when it gets hit by lightning, the chances are that that box will fry well before that device triggers, because the lightning is so fast that it's just going to go straight through and kill stuff before the protection comes in. So don't waste your money on those boxes. Basically, if you need a junction box, don't buy the real cheap ones. If you have a look inside them, they just have a very thin strip of metal between the sockets, and they are just awful. There have been fires that have been attributed to the poor design of some of those boxes, so don't get stuck into that rut of thinking that any box is the same. There are better quality ones and you will pay more for them. And there are ones that tout all sorts of wonderful claims. Don't believe all that stuff either. That brings me on to another topic of warranties. A lot of companies, some of the big chains here in New Zealand, will sell extended warranties. Now, my opinion is that they are a waste of money, because the Consumer Guarantees Act protects you against a product being fit for purpose. It should be fit for purpose and it should last a reasonable amount of time. And the courts have decided what that is, and you have recourse under the Small Claims Court if you feel that your product is not up to speed. I know in our case, in our company, we will go to whatever lengths we need to make sure that customers are happy and that they get a good lifespan out of their product. So the buck stops with us really, and with our manufacturers that we represent. And most of those manufacturers are incredibly good at looking after their customers, because they realise the long-term value of the customer. So don't get sort of sucked into buying these extended warranties. The warranty that comes with your goods is your first line of protection for a couple of years, maybe 3 to 5 years with some of the brands that we deal with, like Golden Ear and REL and Proac and so forth. And then after that, you have the recourse to the consumer protection legislation, so the Fair Trading Act, the consumer protection laws, and those are better than spending out money on something that what really happens is when you buy that warranty, effectively you're just giving the retailer more money, and then when you have a problem, the retailer will just go to the distributor or the manufacturer to get recourse. Anyway, that's my rant for today, and I hope you have enjoyed this little session today. We've got a bit of music coming up now, and then after that I'll have another little excerpt from the Absolute Sound magazines going back through the archives.
Dreaming of Mercy Street, where you're inside out, dreaming of mercy, in your daddy's arms again, dreaming of Mercy Street. I swear they moved that sign, looking for mercy, in your daddy's arms. Looking down on empty streets, all she can see are the dreams all made solid, are the dreams made real. All of the buildings, all of the cars were once just a dream in somebody's head. She pictures the broken glass, pictures the steam, she pictures a soul with morning at the sea. Wait until darkness, wait until darkness comes. Nowhere in the corridors of pale green and grey, nowhere in the suburbs, in the cold light of day. There in the midst of it, some alive and alone, words upon my bone, dreaming of Mercy Street, where you're inside out, of papers from drawers that slide smooth, tugging at the darkness, word upon word, confessing all the secret things in the warm velvet box. To the priest, he's the doctor, he can handle the shocks. Dreaming of the tenderness, the tremble in the hips, of kissing Mary's lips, dreaming of Mercy Street, where you're inside out, looking for mercy in your daddy's arms again, dreaming of Mercy Street. I swear they moved that sign, looking for mercy in your daddy's arms.
Yep, one of my favourite albums, the Peter Gabriel live in Milan, and just a wonderful feel to that track, beautiful vocal, loved Tony Levin's bass playing. Yeah, just lovely stuff, beautiful.